Hi there. This was a follow-up question that really sort of wrung my heartstrings, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. Hi, Dr. Sheva. I hope you're well and enjoying spring. I'm in a bit of a predicament with my boyfriend. He is 50 and I'm 31, and so we have a big age difference. We've been together for 4 years, and the last 3 have been mostly without sex. The 2 years we were living long distance, I didn't think much of it. The last year and a half we've been living together, and he has told me his libido isn't the same. Because I complain so much, we mostly have sex about 1 time per month. This is after 8 months of no sex at all. He won't see a doctor for his libido. He also says he needs space to initiate without me talking about it. When I do initiate, he mostly turns me down and says later, but later never arrives. It's very frustrating. I've tried scheduling sex, but that doesn't work. He doesn't respond, and he wants things to happen naturally. I'm to the point where this has been a problem for years, and I think perhaps it's best to move on, even though I love him very much. Do you have any advice? So, first of all, my heart goes out to you, and I thank you for writing, and you're not alone. And there's something about being in a relationship where the man wants to have less sex than you, which is uniquely painful and problematic, because we live in a society where we're always told the men always want to have more sex. And so if the guy in a relationship doesn't want to have sex, you totally always think there's something wrong with you. She doesn't actually suggest that, and I'm really glad, because whoever wrote this in, this is not your fault. It sounds like there's something going on with him, and if I had to bet money on it, I would guess that he has low testosterone. And for men, that is like a light switch. You get that testosterone back on, and they're game to go again. Now, the problem here is not that he doesn't want to have sex and he has possibly low testosterone. It's that he won't deal with the problem, and that is the much bigger problem. So here's what I will say to you. We don't know what the problem is. I certainly don't know what the problem is. You actually don't even know what the problem is. If this may take a few conversations, and the conversations are something like, I love you, but sex is important to me, and this relationship is important to me, and we need to fix our sex life. And even though you say things like, I shouldn't initiate, I should initiate more, I should initiate differently, we should schedule yes, we should schedule no. All of those are excuses that somebody builds up when they're not willing to look at the fact that their libido is low. And I hear this time and time again with my patients, like everything you do is not working, right? Because if his libido was really high, you would look at him oddly across the room and he'd be all over you. So I think the issue here is you have to say to him, listen, if you want to fight for this relationship, I'm here with you. Let's make an appointment. And I would make an appointment with a specialist. If you can come in to see May's Men, I have no idea where you're writing from, but I would highly recommend that. You need a sexual health specialist for this, really not a standard urologist. If he's willing to get help, you can then move on and be with him while he gets help. If he's not willing to get help, then it's a perfectly legitimate reason to move on. The problem here is not that he has no sexual desire, is that he's not willing to look at it and figure it out. Now, if it isn't the hormones, if there is something else going on, like he's having an affair or he's, addicted to pornography, it doesn't sound like that from this letter, but it's certainly a possibility. But I think this is all starting with a discussion about, I love you, I'm fighting for this relationship, but for me, a relationship has to include sexual activity that makes sense and feels good and doesn't feel like I'm forcing it on you, and that's what I need. So I think there may be something physical going on, and maybe we should take a look at that, and I'm willing to do anything with you that may help. But if you're not willing to address it or do something with it, I'm going to need to move on. And that may be a few conversations that start out very lovingly and with the concrete idea that I might have to move on, being quieter. And then it may escalate to a point where you're just very clear. Like, if we don't do something about this in the next month, then I just want you to know that I need to move on. And that is extremely painful, but I feel like you deserve it and you owe it to yourself. So I hope that was helpful, and just know that my heart is with you.